This has Flames fans fired up. With the Edmonton Oilers losing in the Stanley Cup Finals once again, the Sea of Red is elated. But there's no one that needs to be thanked more than the Calgary Flames themselves for preventing the Oilers from winning. Our former GM deserves an apology. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and oh my goodness, we did it. And why do I say we? Of course, I'm talking collectively as Flames fans. We did it because the Oilers did not do it. Now, the best feeling I could possibly think of in the entire world is, of course, the Calgary Flames winning the Stanley Cup. But the second best feeling is Edmonton not winning the Stanley Cup. So, in a way, we did it. And like I said, there is one man that deserves an apology above all others, and it is this man right here, Mr. Boston Pizza Brad himself, Brad Treliving, current general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Of course, our former general manager. Why does he have to be thanked? I mean, for the most part, it goes without saying. If you somehow are living under a rock and didn't see that Florida beat Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup, I don't know what you're thinking, but this man, through his awful deals with the Florida Panthers, was able to prevent Edmonton from winning not one, but two Stanley Cups, especially this year, more so than last year. This year especially, the former Flames went crazy in the Stanley Cup Final. Now, as a quick refresher, there's two deals we need to take a look at. The first one is obviously the very popular one, the one that sent Matthew Tkachuk from Calgary to Florida. Now, I know Treliving was in a little bit more of a bind, had to trade Tkachuk away, but oh boy, has it ever helped Florida. They have reached the Stanley Cup Final in each year since this trade, but to refresh our minds, the Panthers acquired Tkachuk and a 2025 fourth-round pick, which obviously hasn't been used yet, from the Flames for Jonathan Huberdeau, MacKenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and a 2025 first-round pick. Now, Huberdeau, as we know, has been pretty underwhelming in the 3 seasons that he's been in Calgary. I know he's a little bit better this year, but not anywhere near what we expected when we traded away Tkachuk. Weegar has been absolutely solid, but I mean, we'd much rather have Tkachuk than Weegar. No offense to Weegs, I absolutely love him, and I love Hubie. That's the way it goes. Cole Schwindt, he was obviously put on waivers and was picked up, so that's kind of a bit dead there. And then the 2025 first-round pick conditional, which we have accepted. Now, I'll get into it later, what pick we actually do end up getting. But, of course, this is a key part of why Florida won back-to-back cups was Matthew Tkachuk against Edmonton in both of the Stanley Cup Final series. That's obviously the big one. Now, the bigger one, I would say, for this season was, of course, the trade even further back. If you go back to April of 2021, the Panthers acquired Sam Bennett and a 2022 sixth-round pick from the Flames for Emil Heineman, who, I mean, got traded away, or at least what even happened with him? I know he ended up on Montreal and then ended up hurting our players. But anyway, we got Heineman and a 2022 second-round pick, which I think we did trade away as well. So, again, another awful trade by Treliving here. I mean, we know we made a huge mistake getting rid of Bennett. Look at what he's done. He literally just won the Conn Smythe Trophy. We get into that. In case you missed it, Florida Panthers forward Sam Bennett was voted the 2025 Conn Smythe Trophy winner by the PHWA as most valuable player of the playoffs. Bennett scored 15 goals during the run. Holy crap, that's ludicrous, including a staggering 13 on the road. That's also insane. He collected 11 of 18 available first place votes. Chris Johnson there doubling up. Sam Bennett wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. And we know we made the mistake of getting rid of him. He wasn't given a great opportunity here under Daryl Sutter, and he just never flourished. And look what happened. It kind of bit us in the butt a little bit because look how good of a player he is. But did it bite us that hard? Honestly, you could boil it down to Bennett and Marchand. Those two, they almost single-handedly prevented the Oilers from winning the Cup. So thank you so much to Matthew Tkachuk, to Sam Bennett, and of course to Brad Treliving. I mean, we owe him an apology. Yes, it set the Flames back terribly. That sucks. We do have to suffer, but at least he prevented the Oilers from winning a couple cups. And it actually isn't just Bennett and Tkachuk that we need to thank and take a look at. There's also this guy here, AJ Greer, former Flame. So Yegor Sharangovich replaced Breadman on Twitter, said forever a Flame after it was tweeted out that AJ Greer started the Oilers chant which was just hilarious. He is forever a Flame because he still hates the Oilers, as we know Tkachuk does as well, which is just hilarious to see. I know there's going to be Oilers fans watching this video as well. They're going to be salty. They're going to say, oh, well, at least we made the final. At least we made the playoffs. Look where we are. We both didn't win the cup, and this is hilarious. Let us have our moment. Absolutely awesome. We still love Tkachuk, Bennett, and AJ Greer. So happy they all won. And, of course, Lomberg for doing it last year as well. You just got to absolutely love these guys. Now, if we get into the next part here, as I mentioned before, Brad Marchand is another guy. Now, Yegor Sharangovich replaced Breadman again. They said Brad Marchand defeating two evils in the 2011 Vancouver Canucks and the 2025 Edmonton Oilers. He is forever a Flame in my opinion as well. Yes, we have had Brad Marchand to thank a lot in those two Stanley Cup Finals, 14 years apart, which is crazy, but he was obviously instrumental in that Game 7 against Boston way back in 2011 before the riots, and he was so good in the Stanley Cup Finals this year against Edmonton, so we can thank him even more. Yes, he has a very fond place in the hearts of a lot of Flames fans. You'll love to see it as well. A couple upset stars there. Maybe if they left, rumors are McDavid might be on the way out of Edmonton, which is, again, just more music to our ears as Flames fans. So very interesting to see that. And the last big part, of course, of this all, the thing that I texted to my family group chat and my friends group chat instantly was, of course, the Corey Perry curse continues. So Corey Perry loses his 5th Stanley Cup final in the last 6 years. One of the most heartbreaking runs in sports history. Depends who you ask. Corey Perry, not a very liked player across the league, just by the way he plays, the way he interacts with other players. So him losing 5 of 6, I think most fans are pretty happy with the Corey Perry curse. You do, on a human level, have to feel for him a little bit. The fact that the last 2 were with Edmonton, I mean, personally, I don't at all. But, hey, he did win a cup back in the day, so I guess there is that going for him. But the curse continues. If you want to lose in the Stanley Cup Finals next year, sign Corey Perry to a cheap contract, and that's exactly what will happen. Absolutely love to see it. Flames fans are truly ecstatic that, thank goodness, the Oilers lost. Now, if we get into some implications about the Oilers losing, but more, I guess, relevant is that Florida 1 is, of course, that pick that we mentioned earlier in the Matthew Tkachuk trade. So the Flames will select at 32nd overall with the first round selection they received from Florida in the Matthew Tkachuk trade. For the first time in the last 3 years, the Flames have no outstanding conditional draft picks. All conditions have been met now that we know where Florida ended up and we know that they won the cup again. You're welcome for Matthew Tkachuk for winning you a couple cups. So the trade ends up as this. Matthew Tkachuk and Calgary's 2025 fourth round pick, so the 112th overall, Tkachuk and the 112th in this year's draft, for Jonathan Huberdeau, MacKenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and Florida's 2025 first-round pick, which is 32nd overall. So again, in no way are we ever going to win this trade unless somehow we go on a run and win the next 3 cups with Huberdeau and Weegs in the lineup, or if that 32nd overall pick ends up leading us to a bunch of cups later on, which isn't as likely. Yes, it was a trade we lost, but again, it was necessary in order for the Oilers to not win 2 straight cups. So thank goodness that these trades did happen. Boston Preet's bad. I never thought I'd be forgiving him, but there you go. With the Panthers beating the Oilers in the finals, the Flames will now officially be picking the second of their 2 first-round picks at 32nd. So we just talked about that. The earlier, of course, is the first-round pick at 18th overall that came after the elimination of New Jersey and Montreal in the opening round of the playoffs. Of course, we picked up New Jersey's first-round pick in the Markstrom trade, and Montreal has our first-round pick as part of the Monahan trade. A truly might be the worst trade out of all the tree-living trades. How is there a trade worse than the Tkachuk-Huberdeau trade? I don't know, but it could be that one. But either way, there you go. 18th and 32nd, that's where we'll be picking in the first round, unless Conroy, of course, cooks something up and trades up. Of course, we'll just have to wait and see what does happen this offseason. But overall, fans are elated, which is great. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. Comes from the most recent video on the channel, of course, talking about Rasmus Andersson. And Jaws Boy said, waiting until the deadline is not a terrible idea if the offers this summer are garbage. Re-signing him would be unacceptable, though, and a huge red flag that management is steering the team down the wrong path. And that's harsh, I know business-wise it makes more sense to trade Andersson definitely now, if not at the deadline, but probably not re-sign him. There are pros to re-signing him, of course. That's why this is a little harsh. But when it comes down to it, hockey's a business, and this is probably the most realistic way to look at the Andersson situation this summer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.